Can I just say this? And I'm not trying to be like that, that tinfoil hat person, but like just yesterday, I was talking to my dad about this, and like I was telling you, my dad's very expertise on knowledgeable. He believes that there's a government, but there's also like a government behind our government,
dark web,
kind of thing,
aliens and shit.
But when the thing is, and he brought something, and he said one thing to me, and it did kind of rock my world and make a little bit of sense. It's come out. Like the government classified seal, they've unclassified files. We know aliens exist. They've shown pictures. They've come out now. They've admitted Area 51 was right. Bob Lazar was right. All that shit was correct. So with all that being said, I forget where I was going with this.
Yeah.
So when it comes to these aliens,
that's what he said to me. That's what he said. He turned around and he was like, the reason why people won't talk about it like on mainstream like CP24 is straight up religion. Because think about it. Think of the mass fucking... The world would go insane if the government legitimately sat on a podium and said, yeah, we are working with aliens. There's a treaty that we have signed since 1950 with aliens. The fucking mass of our population would go so fucking crazy because they would know right then and there religion doesn't exist.
How do you know that? Because aliens would probably say we got created by God. How do you know that they would?
Aliens are the ones that created God.
What are you talking about? God is universal. God is not just only for Earth. He's for all of mankind. He's for everything.
Having this conversation.
Yeah, this is getting really creepy.
I'm not honestly. Yeah, I'm not having this conversation.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by that cat.
Just to summarize this.
What is that?
I'm gonna just say I'm gonna make one more point, and then we're gonna move on. Okay. You want to go ahead?
I'm so intrigued.
Like
I'll have this conversation.
So after that, I'm going to wrap it up and we're moving on because this can go on for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I tuned this out.
I think.
Yeah, I love that cat.
Go ahead.
Why we are here? I think it's because actually we have a choice to create ourselves. It's first, and you always have a choice what you choose: dark, bad, to be like, I don't know, do some war, or some happiness, be happy, positive, and we always choose something. And I think the people who make some war, etc., it's everything become when you was young. It's all of the problem, but it's everything about like childhood.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm just saying. Like,
but we always have a chance to choose who we are.
That's like, the part about having
that's great.
Free will.
Like, I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think you're absolutely right when it comes to that. I think both of you are absolutely...
I know I'm right. But
regardless of the cockiness or not, I agree with you. Yeah. And that's hard for me to say as a woman. But I still have questions.
So let me just summarize this now, okay? When it comes to people of faith, okay, that follow religion, you want to call it a cult, and they're brainwashed and blah, 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 whatever, right? So they believe that after they die, they're going to be judged, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to be judged on how you treated people, right? What you did for those around you, what you did with your family, were you grateful to God, right? All of that stuff. And whatever other stuff that your religion has, where you have to go to church or you have to go to the synagogue and there's rituals you must follow, right? Like, people in Judaism pray 3 times a day. Muslim people pray 5 times a day. So we feel that all that you'll be judged on, right? So you've got this on one side. So you have a whole bunch of people who believe this. They're going to die. They're going to be judged. And based on what happens when they're being judged, they're either going to hell or they're going to heaven. And this encourages them to be a better human being, to be a better parent, to be a better brother or sister, or help, those who are, less fortunate, right? Mm-hmm. So they're doing all, and I'm not saying all are. I'm not saying that every person who follows religion is good. I think there's bad and good on both sides. But let's say we look at the ones that actually really try to follow this, mantra of I need to be a good person. I need to be grateful for what I have. And of course, they're going to falter. We're human. We're made to falter. But I always try to be nice to people. I'm not going to cheat no one. I'm not going to take advantage of somebody. I'm not going to spread corruption and war and all that type of shit. I'm always going to try to do the best that I can. And I'm always going to work on improving. And I'm going to thank God. Those people, they believe that because they feel something's going to happen after they die. Now you have other people like, fuck that. That's bullshit. That's all a bunch of hogwash. There's nothing that's going to happen to you after you die. God doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. Let's just say if there's a 5% chance that the people on this side are right, even 5%.
Okay, so after they are right,
I'm saying, what's the harm in leading a good life on earth?
There's nothing
and
wrong
doing
with that.
good to others and taking responsibility for your actions. What's wrong with that? Even if at the end of it, nothing was to happen, at least you're a good person on earth.
Okay.
But let's say there's a 1% chance that there is heaven after this life or hell. And just because you're like, well, I don't believe in nothing, fuck it, right? But there might be that 1% chance that maybe there is, and then you're going to be eternally doomed.
But what's so great about making that decision after? Like,
You don't make the decision after. That's not up to you.
I mean, like having him make that decision.
Because he's
after.
God.
Sorry. Yes, but why? Like,
because he put you
sorry,
on
I
earth
said
for a
that wrong.
reason.
Giving you opportunities.
Which is great. And let's say I'm a great kid at the
That's
end of
what
all the
life
day.
is.
Yeah.
And he says, you can come and spend the rest of eternity in heaven with
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I've passed the test.
Yeah.
Now what?
Now you're going to go to heaven.
What's the point?
But listen,
So,
once
like-
again, we're going
I
back.
finally get what she's trying
No,
to say, though.
but
She's
again,
trying to
you-
ask what's so good about heaven.
You're not understanding. The point I made earlier is the example I gave you about a dog. A dog has no idea how it got the dog food. You don't have the brain capacity to even understand what is happening in the world, what the master plan is, and what's going to happen in the afterlife. You have no idea. All
Okay.
you know about heaven is
So back to your
there'll be
dog example.
some little fairies flying around and shit, whatever.
Okay.
No, that's not
Your
heaven.
dog example,
Yeah.
we take care of the dog
Yeah.
because of our selfishness of wanting
Yes.
to have a cute animal and we want it to live,
Yeah.
so we feed it.
Yeah.
But really, what's the point of us feeding this dog when there's really no point?
Why not?
at
It's
the
showing
end of all of
compassion to the
this?
dog. And
That's
and,
great.
and
We
you're,
could
and
be
you're,
happy,
but you're
but
showing
like,
compassion to an animal.
My love, I see how you're thinking about
Thank
it.
you.
Cynical.
And I think that
cynical.
just like
It's
people choose
practical.
religions, people are allowed to choose why the fuck they continue to not kill themselves and they stay on here. People get to choose that.
Okay, so
You can choose to, you're living your life because you want to enjoy it. You're living your life because you want to make a lot of money. You're living your life because you want to like follow a faith and you want to go to the afterlife. You know, everyone, you can choose why you want to live your life.
yes.
That's the beauty of life. You can choose, do whatever the fuck you
Right.
want. Because
And I
none of us
appreciate that.
know what the fuck's going to happen when we die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I guess my issue is that there's some people who truly believe they do know.
I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't believe.
100%.
I don't believe that no one knows what's going to happen. That's a choice that you make. Like believing in God is having blind faith in God. You never see God, but you see God in everything you see.
Right.
So you don't see God himself, but you see God in everything. Like, you know how we have, for example, cellular technology. Okay. Do you guys believe that the technology that's being used for cell phones only existed 50 years ago? That's always been there. It's only man has been able to now harness that in. Sound waves have always been there. God's already put that out there. It's just that now our brain capacity caught up to it.
it's also
Yeah,
because
it's
I'm not even
incredible.
trying to be that person again. But again, a lot of our technology came from trading DNA genetics with it. Like, look it up. It's the government's already come out and said it. They've traded DNA genetics with us for the past 50 years, and we've traded technology.
So that's I understand that's one angle. We're talking about the part about God. So what I'm saying is that you may think that what is the purpose here? Every human being has limited free will. You know what that means? If I want to, I can stab Luma in the eye with this pen right now.
Well,
I can't.
I'm immortal.
Okay, or that I can stab Yulia in the eye with this pen right now, and then bash her on the head with this. Okay,
Yeah.
but I can't stab Ryan in the other room. So my free will is still limited. People think human beings have unlimited free will. No, you can only affect whatever's within your surrounding. And God has given us intellect, whereas animals don't have that intellect. Animals have fight, right? They fight or they freeze. That's
Okay,
it.
so then
And their only instinct is survival. They need to get food and they need to procreate, so their fucking race is the one that's dominating. That's why when a new lion takes over a pride, he will kill all the babies of the previous lion. You guys know that?
Circle of
yes,
life.
okay. So
He
I
kills
just,
all of them because they're
I-
not his offspring.
I just have
Yeah.
okay. So you made a comment that you said like, so what's wrong with living your life following this with even if nothing is at the end kind of thing. And then you said that God gave us intellect. So that's a little bit different. That's what makes us different than animals. And I agree with you completely. But isn't this all stuff that we can just learn through basic fables?
No,
Like the boy who cried wolf.
no, not
like
at all.
I'm not. I'm just playing like.
I understand what you're trying to say.
A lot of like
This
I
is
have
why I
read,
don't go to church anymore.
Some things I've read in
This
the Bible,
conversation right
and if-
here.
and if
It's
you-
so infuriating.
Some things I've read in the Bible stories, and if you take just the religion part out of it, and you look at the actual aspect of what they're trying to show you, do not treat people equal, do not steal. Yes, those are simple fables that we can just learn at a life.
The fables that you're talking about is about being a good person and so on. But the core part about religion is not just only being a good person. The core part about religion is being grateful to God, acknowledging a higher power. But that's the part you're missing in the fable. The boy who cried wolf. There's nothing about God there.
That's also what you're missing is I'm grateful to my higher power, and that's my mother.
Which is great. No one's saying anything about that. She was just asking a question. What's her you want to maybe ask her mother why we're here?
Yeah,
she
maybe.
might fucking tell
She
you.
might-
I don't know.
might whisper it.
People. So what happens is when you get to if you are at a point mentally where you are being cynical about. I'm not saying that you are totally like that, but you're being
she's a
cynical
witch.
about why you're even here. Then you really have to kind of find your ground again. That's the thing we talked about earlier. You need to be grounded, right? Because people now,
was an hour ago.
LeBron James is their fucking hero. It's like, okay, well, so LeBron James teaching you how to be an athlete, which is great. Go after your dreams and all that. But what's LeBron James teaching about how to be a father? Or how to be a good son? What does that have to do with LeBron James, right? Or how to be a good uncle, or how to help your local society. Some of them they do charity work, but he's not going to be an all-around perfect figure that's going to help you in every area of your life. So this is where you get grounded. This is where family values come in. And again, I feel that today, especially today, the generation like Gen Z and you've got the millennials, they're not well-rounded. They've got limited stuff that grounds them, and they put everything on that. So they're consumed by fucking image and Rolexes and all that fucking bullshit. That is their life. So they post on Instagram every day, and they just sit there and wait for comments and likes. And if they don't get it, they get all fucking depressed. That's their God. And that's all. It's all a fake facade that they create, and they're consumed by it. Their friends do it. Their friends do it. Everyone does it. And they all compare and talk about it. And that's all they do. And they watch the videos like, if you save this fucking sound, whatever
your manifest.
everyone has seen that on Instagram. Everyone has. So we're all being brainwashed by it. But if you're grounded and you got that from your parents, like she said, it starts from childhood. If your parents instill those values in you, they did that to make you be confident, secure. They didn't do that so you fucking are brainwashed and believing Xanyu is going to come here and attack the earth and Tom Cruise is going to save us.
Unless your dad's John Travolta.
They tell you that because they want you to be a good person, and they want you to know that if times are tough, you can turn to God. He'll give you strength. If you believe, you kind of doubt maybe he doesn't exist, but actually does give you that strength. Why? Because when you were younger, you found peace in your home because God was present. Your parents talked about God. You had religious get-togethers. You went to church and all that. So you feel that, you know what? Yeah, that peaceful environment is what's missing. What you're saying is because that part is gone. So you're wondering, what's my purpose here? So you have to kind of go back, figure out who you are and what your purpose is and what gives you that grounded feeling of feeling secure.